How's it going, everybody? It's Pilot Flame, and we are back with another FPL stream. And today, we're going to be talking about... Lost out of focus there. Liverpool losing at Anfield. No, I'm just joking. We're going to talk about FPL, but Liverpool did lose at Anfield today. 1-0 to Burnley. I kind of figured they might struggle against them, mainly because when you don't create chances and you go up against a team that are very stubborn in their ways, very defensive, and very negative in the way that they want to play, and they just want to rough you up, and they want to do a whole bunch of things that you ain't really trying to have, and you can't get around that. That's a bit of a problem, and Burnley were exactly that today for Liverpool. But we're going to talk about the great game weeks that everyone's been having, because I've seen some pretty massive scores. I know someone in one of my smaller mini leagues has like 130 something. I've seen some very low scores as well. And yeah, so we'll check all that stuff out. We'll see how we did on the predictions. The only one that we haven't, we have the game that hasn't finished as of yet this game week is Aston Villa and Newcastle. So we'll check out that in terms of, isolation, in terms of like seeing what could potentially happen and kind of predict maybe what will probably happen. But it's probably going to be an Aston Villa win. And we can kind of guess what everyone's points are going to end up being on. And we'll see our differential picks. We'll see how those did. And yeah, we'll do our predictions for Game Week 20 and see what my transfers could potentially be now that Kevin De Bruyne could be out for up to 3 to 4 weeks. So that could be a problem as well. So without further ado, let's get into it. A lot going on in the chat. Imagine not being in the 100 club this game week. Yep, basically. 103 with Martinez to play. That's how much I have. 103 with Martinez to play. Leeds and Saints cancellation drowned me out. Did for a lot of people. Saints or Liverpool wasn't my problem. My problem was how crap Leeds are. Yeah, basically. Leeds weren't great. But again, single game week. I didn't want a bench boost in it. My bench would have got me, as you can see, 12 points. So it wouldn't have been great. Can definitely get a little bit better than that. Zach is on 131 points, so he's probably got some ridiculous story in there. This year's all round 2 mental, and it makes it more exciting too. Yeah, there's going to be some very high highs and some very low lows. So currently on 103 points, obviously there's an asterisk next to things that can change. Currently on around a 440-ish K game week rank. 1,075 points overall. We have a green arrow of around 400k places, 350k places, which is nice. We only used the one transfer. That was Rodrigo to Antonio, and that was a 16-point swing. So probably one of my best single game week transfers. Yeah, so Zaka's got Stones, Antonio, Cresswell, Kufal, and Saka. Yep, so that looks pretty good, and you probably bench boosted. So yeah, that looks pretty good to me. A lot of people with Cresswell actually had their bench boost active, which was interesting to see. Unfortunately, no points from Soucek, which was the other West Ham player that I went with. But overall, not too bad. Not too bad. Liverpool was definitely disappointing. Roberts ended up with 8 points, which was more than Holding, but again, not great. The 2 points he got from the Burnley game was literally the same that he got. He got 6 points, the same as Holding. So I got an extra 2 points because he played against Burnley. So it is what it is there. But I had Diaz, was very happy with his performance. Cancelo came on, in the second game, got a clean sheet. De Bruyne getting the most points out of all the players that I probably would have captained over, so Salah, Fernandes, and De Bruyne were kind of the 3 main captains for this week. De Bruyne was the one that would have done the most for me. I was never going to captain Diaz or Cancelo or Kufal or Antonio. Mind you, I played with the idea of Antonio, but Nathan Best -4 of my life, which everyone doubted. Soucek to Saka, Adams to Antonio. No, I thought I thought the Soucek to Saka one was a bit, weird because Soucek had 2 games, but it ended up paying off for you. So Adams to Antonio was fine. I agree with that. That was perfectly fine. And I'm not sure. I don't think you could have. I think you mentioned that you said you couldn't do that in one move, which is unfortunate because that would have been the best single transfer you would have ever done. So yeah, that would have been quite good. But yeah, glad I didn't bench boost. Chris Wood getting the same number of points as Mohamed Salah. Lol. People doubted my 4-point Chris Wood. I thought he was going to take the penalty too, because Chris Wood was on penalties, but I guess since Ashley Barnes is back in the team, because he was injured for a large portion of last season when Burnley did get penalties. Chris Wood was on them, so I guess Ashley Barnes is the penalty taker. Cresswell, Kufal, and Souček, one of them had to go. Oh, so if you wanted Antonio, you had to get rid of one of them. Okay, so you made the right choice there, yeah. That makes sense then. That makes perfect sense to me. But yeah, the surprises of the week, I would say, is definitely, you know, City's performance was definitely quite good from a defensive standpoint. De Bruyne's injury, you know, not great. Salah being benched in the Burnley game, and it came back to bite them. Antonio doing what Antonio does. Bruno was quite quiet this week. You know, if you had like a double Manchester United defense, double Liverpool defense in the first game, when they played against each other, you were looking pretty sound going into the second set of game week, or second set of game week fixtures, as it were. West Ham did quite well. If you had Kufal, him and Cresswell were probably the two best in terms of like defense, and then Antonio. So if you had Cresswell, Soufal, and Antonio, you're looking fantastic, much like Xhaka. If you had Diaz, Stones, and De Bruyne, you're looking great as well. And apart from that, if you didn't have any of those, like kind of 6 players, kind of not looking too great. Although if you also had Leicester defenders as well, so I know somebody in one of my mini leagues has Schmeichel and James Justin, so that's a lot of points there. But yeah, I'm all out of luck. Wood tonight, no penalty take, which Bruyne captain, and is off penalties and also missed a chance. Assist for Cancelo. Poor miss off the bar. Yeah, a lot of things. This game it could have been even crazier. Like Cancelo could have had a goal, could have had an assist. De Bruyne could have potentially had a goal as well. But yeah, it's a bit mad. This game was pretty crazy. So let's actually take a look at how the fixtures kind of went, and we'll take a look at our predictions here. Overall, I switched Antonio to KDB at the last second. Yeah, unfortunately, we wouldn't have known that KDB would have got injured and only would have got an assist in the first game. So it's a bit unfortunate there for him. Yeah, Wolves West Brom was definitely not a 1-0. It was a 3-2 to West Brom. Wolves are just they're not looking sharp at all. They have a few injuries. They don't know what things to be playing, and overall not great, basically. So, again, no points there. We predicted Leeds to win 3-1 over Brayton. Leeds underperforming again. A lot of chances, just no end product. So, no points there. I didn't have Antonio Stones because of a small risk of starting. Well, Stones, I think, is fairly nailed on now. And I would say that Stones and Diaz are going to pretty much start every game because Ake is still injured. Walker's out now. Mendy's out of favor. You know, there's a lot of players that are out of favor. But yeah, Laporte is back, but will he come straight into the team in the important games? Probably not. I bet Laporte will probably play in the FA Cup. But when Laporte was back, Stones and Diaz were the partnership. So we'll probably see one of Diaz or Stones rested in the FA Cup, if not both. And because he could play Fernandinho and Laporte at center back if you wanted to. Stones and Diaz are like Maldini and Cannavaro. Yeah, they're pretty good right now. West Ham versus Burnley. We got that score exactly right, so we get 3 points for that. We predicted a Chelsea win over Fulham 2-1, ended up being 1-0, so just the 1 point there. Leicester Southampton, another exact score, 2-0, so we get 3 points for that. Spurs ended up beating Sheffield United by the same margin I predicted, but didn't keep the clean sheet. They won 3-1 instead of 2-0, so I got 1 point there. United versus Liverpool was a 0-0 draw, so didn't get anything there either. City, we predicted 3-0 over Palace. They ended up winning 4-0, so 1 point there as well. City have such rotation options that any game is a tough call. It's true. I think Diaz and Stones are the favorite partnership, though. So when Champions League comes back, then it's going to be a bit of an issue for them as to who plays and who doesn't. But I think with FA Cup fixtures, they can just kind of do whatever. But because the league is going to be the most important now, because it's in their hands, basically. If City just match the amount of points that Manchester United get, they win the league, basically. Because the one game in hand will put them 1 point ahead of them. West Ham... Arsenal versus Newcastle. I predicted 2-0. It was 3-0. So we get 1 point there. West Ham won 2-1 over West Brom. So just the 1 point there as well. Chelsea ended up losing to Leicester instead of drawing 1-1 like I predicted. So that was a 2-0 in favor of Leicester. Man City exactly won 2-0 over Aston Villa. So we got 3 points there. A lot of exact scores. United 2-1 over Fulham. So we got 1 point there. And Liverpool did not beat Burnley. So we got 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 points out of a potential 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 fixtures. So an additional 4 fixtures overall. And we got 15 points. So not too bad. Bernardo Silva on form, which has taken 12 months to arrive again. Yeah, pretty much. And value on him and also Gundogan right now. Yeah, Gundogan is insane. Clean sheet, Man City. Yep, did quite well. Fulham. Ariel, I think, got some save points, but didn't keep a clean sheet, so not much there. Maguire kept a clean sheet in the first game. Should have had a goal, to be perfectly honest. Not sure how he didn't. Christian Pulisic was not involved in the Chelsea goal, so nothing there for him. And Antonio was obviously the legend himself. So 3 out of 5 on the differential. So 15 points. Pretty insane for our predictions. But yeah, the big talking points. Liverpool losing to Burnley. Again, that's the last team. And now Liverpool have to play United, who are probably going to go somewhat strong because United are going to want, they like the FA Cup, personally. Whereas Liverpool, historically, in the past, like, couple of seasons under Klopp, have just kind of put out whoever. So, yeah. A bit interesting there. It looks like my webcam, I need to fix that. Let's bring that in a little bit. There we go. Then we'll just move this over a little bit. Let's actually fix that on the main one. Is it messed up on the main one? No, it doesn't look like it. Weird. Okay. Bit weird. Not sure why it was messed up there. But okay, we fixed it. We fixed it. But yeah, City keeping clean sheets is you know, insane. Leicester just staying up there as well. Leicester, I think, are in like 2nd or 3rd. So they're doing quite well. Pretty crazy. The league's definitely wide open for anyone that wants to take it because everyone's within like a couple of points of each other. I suppose 103 points so far. Same rules, but only 2 wild cards and no bonus points have Martinez and Watkins come to. Yeah, I mean, I don't do any cash leagues myself, but yeah. If you can pick the right players at the right time, they can definitely boost you up the ranks no matter what fantasy game you're playing, to be honest. So yeah, these are the fixtures for this week. So let's see if we can get some predictions for these ones here. So Crystal Palace versus West Ham. Crystal Palace haven't been in good form. West Ham have. I think West Ham win this one in a very comfortable 2-0 win. I don't see West Ham conceding. And I think they'll win quite comfortably and should be okay. They have Doncaster in the FA Cup, so they should probably just play a half-hearted team out there. You can play like Yarmolenko, Lanzini, or whoever. Like, you can play like the second-string players in that. Balbuena, who's coming back. This Randolph, second-string goalkeeper. You know, you can play those sorts of players. Newcastle versus Leeds. Now, this is a bit of a tricky one. Because Newcastle have been bad, but Leeds have also been bad. But I trust Leeds more than Newcastle. So I think, I'm just going to say, well, I mean, last time Leeds beat them quite comfortably. I don't think, I think Leeds will probably keep a clean sheet too. And I think Leeds are just going to take their frustration out on them and beat them 3-0. Because Leeds are definitely a better team than Newcastle. Wouldn't go for Bernardo Silva. He's the type of player to play 90 minutes in a 5-0 win and not get a single goal contribution. Yeah. He he definitely does go missing in games at points. If you're gonna go for City, honestly, right now, you go for Diaz is guaranteed numero uno. Number two, I would say, is probably Cancelo because he's gonna get points. He's gonna play Walker if Walker's out any extended period of time. He's the only one that can really play right back. Yeah, that's not the best point score. I think the average is where is it? 2. I can't remember what the average was. Just gonna check. So the overall average is 64-ish points. The top 10K average is around 86 or so points. So yeah, depends on where you are. So it depends on where you are as to how many points you're gonna go, or how many ranks you're gonna go up or down. But having 120k rank going into this game week isn't terrible. It's quite good actually. I'm still in the above the million mark, which isn't great. Gotta shrink that down, which we're doing this week, luckily. Southampton versus Arsenal. I think Southampton are one of the better defensive teams in the league. They've definitely shored it up since they've played Spurs. Arsenal couldn't score versus Palace. I don't see them scoring versus Southampton. Though Southampton should have Danny Ings back. I'm going to go with a Southampton 1-0 win, actually. I think it's going to be a close affair, but I think Southampton should have enough. I don't see Arsenal scoring. They couldn't score versus Palace. They've only beaten teams that have been just atrocious. Like Brayton, like Newcastle, like West Brom. Southampton at a point were first in the league, so and with Danny Ings back, they should be a lot better. See a 1-2, a 1-1. Some mix. It's a tougher one to call. West Brom versus City. I think 3-0 probably. They won't have De Bruyne, which will probably make it a bit trickier. Actually, I'm gonna go 2-0. I'm gonna go 2-0. I'm gonna think City keep a clean sheet. I think City's keeping 3 clean sheets in the next 3. Which is why you'll see what one of my potential transfer options is this coming week. Saka's going with 4-0. Mana's going with 3-1. I just don't see West Brom scoring. Burnley versus Villa. I think Burnley struggled to score goals. Villa's defense looked quite resilient versus Man City's, and Martinez is a beast. I think Villa win this game. I think it should be quite easy. Villa should score. Burnley, they can at least do more than what Liverpool did. I think they'll win the game, probably 1 or 2-0. I'm going to go 2-0. I see a 0-0. I see a 1-0. I think definitely Villa keep a clean sheet for sure. Because Burnley don't create very many chances, and Villa are also decent, like in terms of stopping set pieces. Chelsea versus Wolves. I think Wolves are just bad, personally, and Chelsea have been, not good either. So I think that it could be a bit of an interesting one. Xhaka wants his team to win 3-0. Mana's going for a 1-1. I think it's probably going to be probably a scrappy 2-1, I think. I think Wolves will probably get one, but I think Chelsea will have just enough to beat them. Brayton versus Fulham. I'm going to go Fulham 1-0, honestly, here. I think Fulham are a lot better defensively. They showed it against United. If we lose Lampard, it's gone. I don't know about that. Zach has gone Brighton 2-1. I think Fulham were quite good defensively versus United. Areola made a bit of a mistake for the first one. Second one, there's nothing you can do about that. That's just the quality. And Brighton have not much quality in their team, really. So, especially with, I don't know if Lamptey's going to be back, but he's the only real kind of spark in the team. Everton versus Leicester. This could be a bit of a shootout, to be honest. Both teams are attacking decently well. Everton should have pretty much everybody back. I'm not sure the status on Calvert-Lewin, but I know that Richarlison should be back. They have Digne back. I think Leicester probably do just scrape it. I think It's a week of draws, says Mono. I think I'm going to agree with Zach here. I'm going to go with a 2-1 Leicester. I think they just shaded over Everton because they've been in good form. And I would expect Vardy to be on the score sheet this time. Man United versus Sheffield United. I think it should be quite comfortable. I'm going to go 3-0. Zach agrees with that. I think United keep a clean sheet. Sheffield United just can't score. United have been doing better at home. And I think it should be quite easy. Mono's gone with the same score as well. Tottenham versus Liverpool. I think Liverpool are going to lose. I'm going to go with the Spurs win. I'm going to go with exactly what Spurs... you took the words right out of my mouth, Zach. I was going to go with a 2-0. It's going to be a very similar way to how they beat City. Liverpool going to have a lot of the ball. They're going to be knocking it around. And if you saw how Dwight McNeil went around Trent tonight, imagine what him and Son's going to do. They're just going to go straight past them. So, yeah. So, those are the scores. In terms of clean sheets and differential picks, clean sheet, I'm actually going to go with Leeds this week. City's obviously too obvious. I kind of cheated and kind of used them last week. But I think Leeds will keep a clean sheet versus Newcastle. I think they have a good chance of doing so. So, if you have Meslier, if you have Dallas, if you have Ayling, I think they should be able to keep a clean sheet versus a Newcastle team that is bottom for, pressing in the league. And Leeds' man marking system will just eat them alive. Please do it, Mourinho. I hope Mourinho does it. That'd be hilarious. In goal, I'm actually going to go with Mendy. I think that Chelsea do have a chance to keep a clean sheet versus Wolves. I think they may concede one, but I think that if there's anyone that's going to keep a clean sheet, that's going to be a differential-ish pick for goalkeepers this week. I think Mendy is going to be one of them. And I think their fixtures are good. Good for the rest of good for the next few weeks. What's up with Meslier? I think he just has a good chance of keeping a clean sheet this week because they're versus Newcastle. The following week after that, probably not so much. They play Leicester, I think. So probably not ideal. But no, I think Mendy is a good shout. I think Chelsea, if you're looking at players from Chelsea, it's Chilwell, it's Reece James, it's Mendy. Was he injured? No, he had he either had some type of illness or he had COVID, one of the two. So he should be back in the team. I would think. If he's not, I still think that Leeds keep a clean sheet. Just no more illness? Okay, but then yeah, he should be straight back in then. Should be fine. In defense, I've gone with Zinchenko because of the fact that I think that he seems to have his place over Benjamin Mendy. And Cancelo, Diaz, and Stones are all quite, highly, highly up there in terms of non-differentials. Aguero also has COVID as well. Another option. So Jesus could be an option as well. But I think Mendy will probably play in the FA Cup. And I think Zinchenko will play at left back. Cancelo play at right back. Stones and Diaz. That'll be the lineup in versus West Brom, I think. Surprise, City haven't brought in Jan up front. So you're trying? Oh, you're saying that City haven't bought a striker in January? Yeah, I mean they could. They definitely could. I think what City are going to do is buy Erling Haaland next summer. I think that's what they're going to do. Because his dad played for the club. That's exactly what they need. They need somebody who just is ruthless, can score goals. If he gets a billion chances, he'll put basically all of them away. Is there any weakness? I would say defensive midfield is probably a weakness of theirs as well. Fernandinho's getting old, can't play every week, and Rodri, unless he has Gundogan alongside him, can be, beaten basically. He's not the quickest across the ground. He isn't very good at pressing. But that's masked by how good Gundogan and De Bruyne have been. In midfield, we've gone with Traore, the Aston Villa one. He currently sits at 5.9 million. I think he looks quite good versus City before he got taken off. And it seems like he's going to be favored over El Ghazi, mainly because of the fact that he's a right-sided forward, whereas El Ghazi is more of a left-sided forward. When Grealish was playing in the number 10, he could play out on the left. Now that Barkley's back, I think El Ghazi is probably less favored in that regard. McAllister, that guy looks on fire. Yeah, he looks pretty good too, but again, he plays for Brayton, doesn't he? Can't trust anything from Brayton, to be honest. And then in the forward line, we've gone with Cavani. Scored versus Fulham. He's still only 3% owned. His movement is exceptional. Could have potentially scored a brace. I believe he's like 7.9 or 8 million or something like that. Could be very good. I think he should start more often. I think he's just been that good. No, not Maupai. Maupai is not the answer. Maupai is not very good. And they need Danny Welbeck back sooner rather than later. Yeah, I think Cavani's probably a good differential pick for this week. Wouldn't be surprised if he gets on the score sheet versus Sheffield United as well. Now, maybe since it's a potential, I mean, we have the FA Cup and we have to go. Meaning that, you know, I'm a Manchester United fan. Have to versus Liverpool. Not sure how strong Solskjaer is going to put out a team in that. Maybe Cavani does play in that, but maybe he's resting him and then he's going to play him in the league. Who knows? Because Martial hasn't been in good form, Rashford hasn't been in good form recently, and Greenwood hasn't been in good form. So Cavani's been, you know, chipping in with the goals. So we will see on that front. So we'll just move that out of the way. So this is how the team currently looks at the moment. I'm actually just going to take a look briefly at potential price changes for tonight. So the players that look like they could potentially be going up tonight is Diaz and Antonio. Maybe. It's potential. Cavani 7.8. Gundogan and Martinez may, or probably close. Going down tonight potentially is Matip, Zuma, Robertson, Rafinha, Kilman, Ward-Prowse, Chilwell. And then closest people like Walker Peters, Bertrand, Ziyech, people of that sort. But I would say don't worry about price changes at this point in time. Unless it's something where it's like, if you don't get this price rise to bring in exactly Kane and Son right now, then, you know, I would say then it would be, you know, you would definitely go for him. My only sub this week is going to be KDB to Fernandes. Looks like a good shout to me. I think that looks fine. Yeah, so this would be the team that I would be currently fielding. If I was going to field, I would probably field Kufal. Should probably rearrange this a little bit. Put Wood ahead of Robertson. And then probably say Robertson ahead of Holding, to be honest. That's probably how I would go with it. But I'm going to definitely be looking to move De Bruyne. Salah out? No, I think we keep Salah, to be honest. Because De Bruyne has to make way. So Salah was going to be the cash cow. So originally this was the plan. I did it in a video as well. I was going to go Robertson down to a real cheap defender like Mitchell, who's got his place back in the team. I was then going to go Souček up to Grealish in 21 or in 20. Then save a transfer. Then in 23 or in 22 was going to go Fernandes to Rashford. And then in 23 was going to go Salah and Wood to Kane and Son. And that would leave me 0.2 exactly to do that. Now that De Bruyne is going to be out for 3 to 4 weeks, what's probably going to happen is Robertson's definitely leaving because Liverpool's defense is awful. And if I sell Robertson right now, I could potentially get 0.1 on him because we bought him at 7.2 and he's now 7.4. If he goes down in price, that's been unfortunate. But I'll be looking to probably make my transfers on Saturday evening. because that'll be after the City game, and I'll see who's back and who's not and whatever. We'll get an update on Walker and De Bruyne as well, but it looks like De Bruyne is pretty definitive. We'll also know if Grealish has gotten a yellow card, because basically the transfers that I'll be looking to make is take out De Bruyne, bring in Stones, go triple City defense, and then bring in the likes of Grealish. Or I can also go Son as well. I can go either or. Have a good night, Zaka. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Make sure to check out the rest of it over on YouTube once we put it up as well. Yeah, Madison could be a good shout as well. But I could easily do that for a -8. But the thing is, the thing that I'm gonna definitely, I could also just do De Bruyne to Son as well. That's another option. Or De Bruyne straight to Grealish and just hang on to Robertson and don't play him. But I think if I'm not gonna play Robertson and I'm not gonna play De Bruyne, it would make sense to get rid of both of them anyway, and then bring in Stones because he's the City defender that I would want. And then I can go literally any midfielder in the game if I wanted to. I can go Grealish, I can go Son, I can go Rashford, I can go Madison, I can go pretty much anyone. But basically the way I want my team to look come at the start of game week 23, now that De Bruyne is out, is I want Son. I don't want Souček. I want Grealish. I don't want Chris Wood. I want Kane. And then I don't want Salah. I want somebody else. So going into that game week 23 fixture, Stones City play Liverpool away, which, triple City defense versus Liverpool doesn't look great, but I would have Son and Kane, and I can always move them on potentially to like Chelsea or something like that, and just so have them for the 3 game weeks, and then move one on. Like, so Chelsea play Sheffield United, so I can easily go from I can go Stones to Reece James or something, bench Diaz or Cancelo, play Kufal, and then play the Chelsea defender. I have KDB, so I'll probably do a -432. Won't be for any pool. Maybe Stones and Madison. I'm staying away from that, Frank. Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, that's probably going to be my transfer for this week. If I think that Son is probably just, a better shout versus Liverpool, and I just want my hand in that, I can just go De Bruyne to Son, see how Grealish does in another fixture, see how Aston Villa do. Like, if I'm not convinced by Aston Villa versus Newcastle, like let's say it's like a 0-0 or something, and they just don't seem to be clicking yet, and Burnley have been good defensively, then maybe I'll probably hold off. But I can always do De Bruyne down to Son, and then Grealish, unfortunately, is just out of reach if I go for Son, 0.3 off. So, a bit unfortunate there. A bit unfortunate there. Frank will be cashing out soon. Yeah, probably. Although I don't think so, to be honest. He is a club legend, so they may give him way more time than what he would actually need. I think he just hasn't got the players going because he hasn't found the system that fits them the best. I just don't think he's playing them in the right system. Also, Kante was out in their last game too. I hope they give him a new 5-year contract. Yeah, pretty much. I'm actually gonna bring up just talking on that. What's it called? Tactics. The tactics board that I use for the tactics talk. So I don't know if you guys can see. Yeah, so you can at least see that. So I'm just gonna put a bunch of players on the field. So when Timo Werner played for RB Leipzig, he played in a front two, basically. He either played in a 4-2-2 system, or he played in a 4-3 or a 3-4-1-2. But yeah, he plays basically in a front two, and I think he does better when he does play in a front two. So I think that what you would need to do is you play Werner. You play Giroud. I know these numbers aren't right. You play Pulisic. You play Ziyech, because Pulisic and Ziyech are they're gonna graft. They're gonna do the hard work. You can play Mount, and you can play Kante. And if you're in a more defensive oriented game, then maybe play Mount in the 10. And then you play more of a midfield 3. You can play maybe Havertz in like a diamond or something like that in here. There's many different ways you can do it, but this is how I would personally set them out. I would go in a 4-2-2. I'd be on the front foot. Kante can basically play in a double pivot by himself. He's perfectly capable of doing that. Not sure what's happened to Zuma, but I would have him straight in there for just his presence. Thiago Silva obviously would be in there. Reece James, who plays excellently with Ziyech, and then I would have Chilwell. That's how I would play personally, because you have, you have these wide forwards in Pulisic and Ziyech are going to cut in or create, and Werner and Pulisic can interchange because Chilwell is going to be in and on the overlap. So when they basically get in and around the box, you can have Werner in there, Giroud in there. Kante and Mount can kind of be in this position. You have Pulisic here. You have Chilwell here. You have Reece James in here. And then you have like Zuma and Silva playing a fairly high line. And you basically rely on Kante to kind of sweep across basically in this area. That's how I would do it with Chelsea. And oh, you guys can't see that. So yeah, that's what it would look like. And basically you have Reece James making overlap runs. You have Chilwell making overlap runs. You have Ziyech can come infield and swing the ball in. You have Pulisic who can drive straight into the box. You can have Giroud and Werner can basically occupy the space and make movements around it. And you can basically have Kante and Mount play a bit more of a reserve, because Mount likes to shoot from range anyway, and they're both good enough to get across the ground and cut the lanes off here and here if they were to lose the ball. And in defense, Werner can press. You can have Giroud drop off a little bit and have Werner be the one pressing, Pulisic the one pressing, Ziyech the one pressing, and have Giroud kind of sit back a little bit. So there's a bunch of different ways you could do it, but that's just my 2 cents. I'm not a manager, but that's how I would do it in terms of like FIFA style. As it were, 4-2-2 probably makes the most sense, because it gets Werner on the pitch. It gets Giroud, arguably your best forward on the pitch. It gets Pulisic, your most dangerous direct player on the pitch. It gets Ziyech on the pitch. You basically, what you have to tell them is that when you're defending, you just basically sit back in a 4-4-2. Right, you tell Giroud to drop back and kind of play where the CDM is. You tell Pulisic and Ziyech to track the wide men, and then you just tell Werner, you stay as the last man up, because you're going to be the guy that's going to be bolting forward. Nearly up to Division 4 in Ultimate Team. I am so bad at FIFA, it's not even funny. I used to be okay, and then all of a sudden I just was terrible. But if you don't like devote yourself, like your entire channel to that game, or like play serious amount of hours, you're never gonna get good at it. Like you get to like a certain level where you're like decent, like where you don't lose to the computer type of thing. But I knew I wasn't very good when they introduced what's it called? It's like the step above like legendary, like ultimate, and I versed the computer, and the computer just trashed me every time I played. I mean, sometimes they would even lose on whatever like the one above like professional is, world class. Sometimes they even lose the computer on world class, so it wasn't great. Yeah, career mode and chill. I'm more of a manager style, more of a, you know, pick your, get your transfers in, get the best lineup, that sort of stuff. That's me. I should play Football Manager, to be honest. Haven't done that before, but would be interesting. Yeah, that's how I that's how I would that's how I would do it. You gonna do gaming streams again? Well, it was a bit busy over the Christmas period. But yeah, probably I don't know what game I'm gonna play next. It's unfortunate actually because I was gonna potentially almost had a poker stream tomorrow. That was a bit last minute, but the problem is the time. So for those that watched the kickoff, True Geordie's the kickoff. They're having a poker tournament tomorrow, but the problem is it starts a couple hours before I get home tomorrow, which is unfortunate because I would have definitely streamed that. That would have been cool. But yeah. Yeah, I'm okay at poker. I'm not the best, but also not the worst. Like I learn little tidbits here and there. You know, maybe if I do Football Manager, maybe I do Football Manager. What I've been trying to do is get people to play Among Us, but nobody's ever on, which is unfortunate. But yeah, it is what it is. Anyway, been rambling on about gaming too much, but yeah, soon TM. We'll figure it out. But in terms of this week, captaincy options, I put a video out. Let's actually take a look at the fixtures really quickly. So the captaincy options this week would have been De Bruyne, but De Bruyne is not going to be playing, so that kind of throws him out the window. And you don't really trust any of the other attacking City outlets. Bruno looks to be, you know, he doesn't have his yellow card threat anymore, so he's right up there. Son, I also think is very, very good this week because he's up against a Liverpool defense that got shredded. You know, where there was points where Wood and Barnes were causing problems in behind. Wood and Barnes, I think I'm as fast as them, and I'm not very good at running. Running is definitely not a thing that I like to do or am very good at. Jamie Vardy versus Everton's defense could also be a good shout. I think they could be good there. Grealish, probably not going to get much points there, but could be an option. Bamford, again, away fixture versus Newcastle, who's down the very bottom. Oh, not very bottom, but they're not doing great. So could be a good shout there as well. And maybe Antonio versus Palace. That would probably be my last one. But I think if you have Bruno or Man United asset, I think it's pretty hard to look past them now that De Bruyne is out. I just put it on Salah just because I know that since he got rested in this game, he's definitely going to play unless he gets injured versus United. I think, you know, Bruno is going to be the most captain player probably coming up this week, especially now that De Bruyne is out. I don't see many people captaining Salah, and I don't see many people captaining anyone else highly, that is. Cheers for the stream. Night near 1 a.m. here. Yep, good night. Make sure to watch the rest of the VOD over on YouTube, which we'll put it over there. And if you are watching this on YouTube, make sure to come check us out on the streams over on Twitch. Next one is going to be on Monday at 7 p.m. EST. That's the day before the Gameweek 20 deadline, so make sure to check that out. So yeah. So the main fixtures, if we're looking at them, going forward, is when Spurs play West Brom, and we'll have double game weeks. So that could certainly change some things. I'm half tempted to get Son in sooner rather than later. And if I could do, I think I can do, I think I'm short if I do Rafinha. Yeah, I am. If I could have done this for a -4, I would have done it. And I would have just kept Robertson for a week. So it's just a matter of, do I want Grealish versus Burnley, or do I want Son versus Brayton? I think no matter what I do, basically by the end of game week 21, it's gonna look like this. Stones will definitely come in for De Bruyne. So if I'm bringing in Stones for sure, then it's going to be a -4. So, and then obviously, Game Week 22, don't have to do anything. Game Week 23, get rid of Wood. Get rid of Salah. And then bring in Kane +1. Whoever that may be. Not sure who it's going to be, but we shall see on that front. Midfielders in that price bracket, it's a bit wide open. I can't get Rashford, I can't stretch it that far. Which is, unfortunate, because United will probably have a double game week. Again. And then United also play West Brom and Newcastle in 24 and 25, which is quite good. Will De Bruyne be back? Probably. So we'll have to kind of see who his double is. But we'll have Triple City anyway, so we'll be looking to keep those. And we can also wildcard and change some things up as well. But I think it's probably going to be like Maddison. Just because he seems to be the more involved. 10 points, 9 points, 8 points in the last 3 games that he's played. So he's done quite well for himself. So I think he could be somebody that comes in. Maybe Maddison's the one that comes in 22. But Salah plays Brayton at home. So, I mean, Liverpool haven't been great. Brayton are not very good. Brayton are not very good defensively either. So, it could be a situation where we just keep Salah, because that's where we want to keep him for. Spurs, they might not give him much space, but again, they could get something jammy. West Ham, maybe something there. And then Brighton, he should be something there. And if not, then he's probably, gone. And then you want him back, obviously, at 26 and 27, where they have better fixtures. And they'll probably have turned things around. Liverpool, the front three are too good not to have a sustained spell, as it were. They should be able to, bring that back. Yeah, so the transfers either this week is going to be De Bruyne to Son or Grealish. One of those two. And then an additional hit, potentially, to bring in Stones. So if it is Son or Grealish, that midfielder I'm just going to play. If I do bring in a defender like Stones, I'll be playing him. Then basically the formation I'll be going with is Martinez, Stones, Cancelo, Diaz, Kufal, Salah, Son, or Grealish, Fernandes and Rafinha, because Rafinha is a better fixture than Souček, and then I'll play Bamford and Antonio. So I think, well, I might play Souček over Kufal. But I like Kufal because he can cross it into Antonio and score. So could be quite nice. So we'll have to see kind of how that one pans out. I typically like to play the attacker over the defender, but in this case, Kufal is kind of half an attacker. And he did get an assist, I believe, last time they played Crystal Palace. Yeah, he got an assist. So, did quite well for himself. And then in the game weeks after that, we play Salah versus West Ham. We play Son versus Brighton. We would play Bruno, obviously, versus Arsenal. And then Souček plays Liverpool. So, and then Rafinha plays Leicester. So, basically, I would play Stones, Cancelo, Diaz. Holding plays Man United. So, in terms of defenders and midfielders, is not great. So, we'll probably just go 3-5-2. We'll play Antonio versus Liverpool. We'll probably just play our West Ham players versus Liverpool. And then Chris Wood has Chelsea, which isn't ideal. And Bamford has Leicester. We'll just probably play Bamford. Like, Chris Wood's probably just going to be on the bench for the rest of time until he gets transferred. Then at 22, we're playing all of our City players as normal. Then we're playing these three midfielders again. We might play Chris Wood and Antonio that week. And then we play like one of Rafinha or Souček. We'll have to see on that one. That could be a bit of a tricky one. And then 23 is where things change up a bit, because obviously we would have three City defenders versus Liverpool away, which could be a bit spicy, as it were. And we wouldn't have Salah in our team, so maybe we just play all three of them versus Liverpool and say screw it, and hope they do well. Because I think right now City can beat anyone and keep a clean sheet. Liverpool can barely beat anything or score, let alone get a win at the moment. But yeah, I'm liking the team. I'm liking the team right now as it stands. I'm liking the team for this game week. De Bruyne is going to definitely come out this week for sure. And it'd be interesting to see, and I can make my decisions. That's the reason why Saturday is so important, which is 2 price changes worth, is we'll see more updates on De Bruyne to confirm, to see if he's definitely out. 2, we'll see how strong United and Liverpool go on the Sunday. So maybe I wait till the Sunday. We'll see. And then we'll see who plays, because I'm also going to be doing Pep Roulette on Saturday evening. So we'll see, kind of guess who's going to play there. We'll see how strong West Ham go, because they play on Saturday as well. Leeds are already out. And we'll see how Aston Villa play versus Newcastle. So we'll get a lot of information on Saturday. I kind of want to catch if there is a price rise that I can get, then it's quite beneficial, because I am going to be, remember, my moves are going to make me 0.2 off, so it is a bit close. De Bruyne can go down once, and it's fine. So if you take a look at that. So right now, we're going to keep Martinez. Johnston's going to stay in our team as well. Holding, if he goes up, that'd be nice, but he can go down. If Robertson goes down, we lose 0.1 on his sell value. Isn't ideal. Cancelo, we've got 0.1 on. Diaz, if he goes up, we get an additional 0.1. Same with Kufal. Salah can go down again, and it doesn't affect us. De Bruyne can go down again, and it doesn't affect us, because we bought him at 11.6. Fernandez, if he goes down, then it doesn't affect us. Souček, if he does go down, it does affect us, which isn't great, but he'll probably make way in 21, which is actually quite a quick turnaround, which we can actually check out. Rafinha, if he goes down, doesn't make a difference. We bought him at 5.4. Chris Wood's not going to go down. Bamford, if he goes down, I mean, we've had him since 6 million. We've gained so much value. And Antonio could go up, so we'll gain some value there. But if we look at the fixtures turnaround, so if you look at so game week 20, 26th of January, so that is 4 days from now, 3 days from now, whenever it is, 5 days from now, 4 days from now, I don't know, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 5 days from now, if you include Tuesday, 4 days if you don't. Then it's games Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So those days are on the wrong order. And then they play on the Saturday immediately. They play Saturday, Sunday. And then they play Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday again. And then they play Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And then there's FA Cup fixtures in between that. And then they play Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So in between these two game weeks, 23 and 24, is when we'll know for blanks and stuff like that. Because that'll be when the FA Cup fixtures are finished, basically, assuming no cancellations. And we'll know who the blanks are going to be for game week 29. And if you haven't checked that out, make sure to check out my not my pin tweet, my retweeted tweet from Ben Krellin's Twitter, which basically shows the breakdown. So it's like Liverpool will blank if X, Y, and Z. Manchester United will blank if X, Y, and Z. And it gives you the breakdown there, which is quite nice. But yeah, this is the team as it stands now. So we'll just run through it one more time. Martinez in goal, Kufal, Diaz, Cancelo, Souček, Fernandez captain, Salah vice captain, Rafinha, De Bruyne, Antonio, Bamford, with Johnston as our sub goalkeeper, Chris Wood, Robertson, and Holding on the bench, with most likely Robertson staying on the bench or getting sold for John Stones. And if we were to do that, we would also have to get rid of De Bruyne, who is most likely going to make way for either Heung-min Son or Jack Grealish. But that would also depend. So if Jack Grealish gets a yellow card versus Newcastle, then I can just go De Bruyne straight to Son, and then get Jack Grealish next week. Next game week, as it were. Game week 21. And so Robertson to whatever City defender that I would want to play. And then I would play him in. If I were to bring in Son or Grealish plus Stones, I would probably play 4-4-2, and Souček would probably drop to the bench because I would trust Antonio over Souček to score. But Souček would be first for a sub over Chris Wood, though. That's kind of how I would go with it, I think. When are we going to be looking to get rid of Salah? Because that's kind of the big question. He's blanked in 4 game weeks in a row. I think we give him till the Brayton game, see what he's about. They could potentially have a double depending on if they lose or not in the FA Cup. So we'll have to see. Because again, United or Liverpool will lose against one another. They can't both go through. They're playing each other. So could be a bit iffy there on either front. And Salah getting rested makes me kind of think that they're going to go fullish strength versus United. So we'll have to be wary of that. But I think Spurs away, could be okay. West Ham away could be a bit tricky. Brighton at home, that's the main one. That's like I'm probably going to captain him in that game week kind of fixture. Oh, let's check one more thing because I wanted to check how many captains I've gotten wrong this whole season. So this is game week 19. So I got De Bruyne. So 1 for 1. De Bruyne get an assist in this game week? He did. So 2 for 2. This is just return. So this is if a player has gotten a return in the game week. Fernandez 3 for 3. 3 for 4. 3 for 5. 4 for 6. 4 for 7 because De Bruyne only got bonus points. 5 for 8. 6 for 9. 7 for 10. 8 for 11. Counting's hard. 8 for 12. 8 for 12. 8 for 12. 8 for 12. 9 for 13. Math is way too hard. 9 for 14. 10 for 15. 11 for 16. 12 for 17. 13 for 18. and 14 for 19. So he's already missed 5. What is that as a percentage? 14 divided by 19. 74%. So basically 3 and 4 captains were getting right, or at least they're returning, which is quite good. And I don't expect we're gonna be in bad nick, as it were, going into this game, because I think Fernandez is gonna do well. So yeah, let's move over to the big camera here. So yeah, that is gonna do it for this Game Week 20 preview stream. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button. That's what it's there for. If you enjoyed something, you hit the like button. If you also want to see more of our content, hit that subscribe button. And if you haven't done so, come follow us over here on Twitch as well. This is where we do the live streams. This is where the VODs come from. So make sure to come check us out over in the live streams. The next one will be 7 p.m. EST. That will be on Monday, the day before the Game Week 20 deadline stream. But we'll be back for an actual, like, the hour before the deadline on Game Week 21 as well. So make sure to come check us out on those streams. Usually there's a pinned comment down below on the YouTube video VOD, which will say what time and what day the next stream will be. And links are also usually in the description for YouTube videos as well. And make sure to keep up to date on Twitter. That's where we post all lineup news, finalize lineups, you know, when videos come out, all that sort of stuff. And when we go live on Twitch as well. Thanks for watching, and until the next one, take care.